big time. I was like, so how are you going to make money? What's the business model? We'll figure it out later. I'm like, Yossi, we're good friends, but not that good. He's like, you know what? I'll just give you 5% in equity. I remember that day. So, I said no, of course. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on this page. It would be on the previous slide. And 6 months later, he sells it to AOL for $460 million. And he calls me and he says, I'm here with AOL. If you ever seen Yossi, he has like a shirt out, and he's like, he never dresses up, he never shaves. He looks like a homeless guy. Again, I love him. And he's a homeless guy from Israel, And he's like, they're offering me $460. What do you think I should do? I'm like, take it. And then he's like, but wait. And he calls me Mashinsky. No one calls me by my first name. Mashinsky! They're offering me stock. This is 96, right? End of 96. AOL was like $10 or something. It was just the beginning of that. They offer me stock. Should I take stock or cash? And my brilliance came out. I was like, take cash, don't So the stock would have been, if you took it in stock, this would have been worth almost $5 billion by the time.
Assuming you sold.
So these are the things that make the difference between huge success and being anonymous, or having no one know that you even exist, right? So, and I met a lot of these guys, a lot of these founders and entrepreneurs and so on, and believe me, none of them has 700 IQ. They're all exactly like you or me, and the only difference is that they were at the right place at the right time on that curve that I showed you before, right? So, and they didn't even know that they were. It's not like they planned to be on this curve at the right place at the right time. They just happened to be there, okay? So if I told you that there was a startup today that's doing a new social network that's going to beat up Facebook, who here would invest in that startup? Oh, there's one guy in the back. You must be a VC then. But that's exactly what Facebook was. When Facebook originated, it was another startup, right? Another big social network with over 130 million users. Okay? So, right? But they turned it into, a porno site. That's what it became, right? I mean, if you read a few of the recent articles about Facebook, they have an army of people that make sure that not part of Facebook is used in any such way, right? Versus MySpace that just tries to monetize. When they sold the business, obviously, the new owners only care about monetizing the site and putting as many ads as possible and everything else. So what made Facebook is just as much as it is News Corp as it is Mark Zuckerberg. So he was on the right curve at the right time, but he was here. He wasn't here, right? So the courage, okay, and I'm summoning the courage here for all of you. Summoning the courage, summoning this image of you in yourself, okay, to allow yourself to be who you dreamt you could be. Because again, I can tell you that none of these entrepreneurs, and I met them all, or most of them, or said no to many of them, are not any different than you are. They don't have more IQ, and they don't have more social graces, and they don't have more money, and they don't have anything. Right? So, and if you really believe in your idea, you can make it the next big thing. You just have to have that tenacity, and you have to have the timing, and you have to know yourself very well, and you have to put around you people who are much better than you are. At least 700, I think. Some questions? We have time? I missed like one or two slides. So the secret is finding something to do in which your skills can exceed your ambition. Gandhi didn't say that. That's, but it's really about that, right? It's about letting your ambition go as far as you can, but also matching it with your skills. Okay, and this is an old cliche that everybody, I just had to put it in there. All right, let's do some questions. Here we go.
Do you see anything happening with IP6? What do you think do you think that, any thoughts on how that's going to change?
Well, it already happened, kind of, right? It's almost like an old story. It's definitely, so if you think of wave, right? So go back to the wave. So right now we have several waves. I would say that obviously the mobile wave is somewhere here, right? The social wave is somewhere here. The cloud wave is probably somewhere here, you know. SaaS here. So you say a word, right? IPv6 is somewhere here. Right? I mean, it's not. There's a lot of stuff on the DNS side. There's a lot of stuff on that I believe that there are opportunities for, but these are all incremental, kind of like late in the curve type of things, right? I think there's a lot of, I mean, look at the wave of innovation on top of the Facebook platform or the Apple platform. So if you think of Apple as a post-PC company, right? Don't think of them as a computer company. They're a post-PC company. They're the guys that enable you to live your life with the digital tools, the digital assistants that surround you, that help you do what you want. And they have just the right tool. They have a tool for your pocket, they have a tool for your briefcase, they have a tool for your desktop, and they have a tool to keep your kids occupied so you can actually do your work. So, and that made them the most valuable company in the world. By the way, I'm long Apple, buy options, 570s, May 570s. Okay, going cheap right now. So it's going to be the first $1 trillion company because they solved the lifestyle of the largest increase in the history of humankind. I mean, we have 3 billion people on this planet that have never used a phone or a computer, and they all will, because everyday chips and processors and memory is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So when all those guys come up, to your question, there is a purpose to this big story. They're all going to need an IPv6 address, and they're all going to need a digital identity, and they're all going to need a cloud service, and so on and so on. Okay, so all these things are going to be here, you know, emerging from on top of a platform called Apple or whatever.
You said that a lot of your ideas tend to be well before that leading edge. I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about how, I mean, not very many people are that far ahead. Like how you come up with your ideas, how you tend to think in general.
Well, I'm just annoyed by things that are not right. So I don't give up until I figure out how to do it better, right? So it could be, you know, I'm annoyed by waste, so I'm like an efficiency freak combined with a technology geek combined with a business. I have the business skill, right? So and I just keep on stewing, mixing it up, and sometimes something comes out of it. It's not like I sit there and by 4 o'clock I develop this and that. You know, it's sometimes I'll jump in the middle of the night and I'll start writing a patent or something. You know, it's like not. You don't want to be married to. Let's put it that way.
You mentioned you disrupted the telecom and transportation industries. What other industries do you think are really ready for disruption?
Everything. Take the yellow pages, A to Z. That's a directory for disruption. Okay, there isn't a single industry that is not ripe for destruction. What is unique is that some of these industries will give you 100 times your money, and some of these industries will give you 1.5 times your money. Right? So if you want to reinvent the garbage business, okay, and make it more efficient, and when they burn it, you can extract the energy and make it green and have less greenhouse effect. You can do that. I mean, you might even get investors. You're not going to make 100 times your money. It's not going to be a Facebook, right? So what you have to do is marry the idea with the adoption curve, right? So this is just an idea curve, but there's next to it is an adoption curve, and there's a funding curve, and there's a team curve, right? All these things have a curve, and they all, you have to ride just the right curve, because if you've got the right talent with the right idea, and it's riding the right adoption, you can be the richest guy in the world in a matter of 10 years, right? So there's no any industry, because we're going through complete transformation of how business is done, right? And all the old school guys are trying to just defend their turf and defend their cash flows, and they'll never take the risk necessary to transform the business.
What do you tell entrepreneurs who have an idea that they're very passionate about in an industry that may have a very small addressable market? You're passionate about wheels on the bottoms of chairs, or something, something that's just very obscure, but that's what they want to disrupt.
Well, I don't think you can cheat your passion, okay? So if you're going to work and you're not passionate, you can't cheat that, right? I mean, it's not like, so it's almost like, I would love to work on social networks, I'm just not passionate about it. So I'm not going to be the richest guy in the world, I'm going to have to work on things like the subway or whatever. So I don't think you can cheat your personality. So and if you're lucky and you were passionate about Beanie Babies and you started eBay, and you became a multi-billionaire, it's because you're at the right place on the right time, on the right curve, way here, way in the beginning, right? You didn't even know that people needed it, right? And suddenly you discover that everybody needs that. So, again, there's no recipe for success. It's not like, because if there was one, we would all be successful and then no one would be successful, right? So the recipe is, do what you really believe in, because you can't cheat that. Do what you're really good at, you can't cheat that, and just use all your fingers and hope that that's somewhere going to land on some curve that's going to go crazy and you're going to sell right there. Right? Look, somebody asked me before this conference, is Facebook worth $100 billion? I don't have an answer, but I can tell you that tulips were worth a lot of money. And as long as other people were willing to buy those tulips, they were extremely valuable, right? So what is the true value of Tulip? What is the true value of Facebook? What is the true value of 10 other companies? None of us know. What is the true value of $1 in your pocket? It's only as valuable as all of us agree that it is valuable. If none of us thought that it had any value, it would be worthless, right? So all these things have a hype curve, and right now we are going through a dollar hype curve. With our Feds printing all the money that anybody needs to keep our economy from blowing up. So, but it's working. It's working great. So, it's all tulips. That's my conclusion.
How do you staff your startups if you're so far ahead of the bleeding edge? Like, how do you then get them to buy into your idea?
It's very hard. Look. Right now, I learned to take my time, and like every day I feel like I'm late, and there's a lot of competition, but now I learn to wait. Right? I don't kind of launch into things just because I came up with an idea. So it's kind of like I'm learning to kind of wait until I'm somewhere here to actually launch it. But again, that's me. That's not you, and it's not somebody else. And I'm just as wrong as I'm right. So there's no, the great thing about being an entrepreneur, you only have to be right one time. So you can come to the plate, you can swing 100 times, and they don't take you off the plate. You can keep on swinging. You can swing as hard as you want. I'm a lefty. That's what I'm saying. And they don't take you off the plate. All right. Every other business, if you swing right once, twice, off you go, and you'll never make it to the majors. I think we're out of time, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.